Could Son be moving to Saudi? More headlines and rumours about Sané, and Jose Mourinho speaks out. This and more in your daily Tottenham news headlines. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Here's your latest daily Tottenham news headlines. Richarlison has been named in Carlo Ancelotti's first Brazil squad for next month's FIFA 2026 World Cup qualifiers against Ecuador and Paraguay. With 20 goals in 48 caps in his international career, Richie's latest call-up marks a long-awaited return to the national team, having not been selected since March 2024 and not played since October 2023 after enduring a challenging time with injuries in recent seasons. Tottenham goalkeeper Guillermo Ricario has withdrawn from the latest Italy squad over physical concerns. Jose Mourinho has been talking to Sky Sports about Tottenham winning the Europa League, and he said the impact is obvious. Tottenham play Champions League, and of course for Mr. Levy, the millions that the Champions League gives for him is the best news. For the fans, for the players, for Ange, it's a title. Sky Sports are reporting that West Brom are expected to approach Tottenham this week requesting permission to speak to Ryan Mason. The West Midlands club want to talk to him about becoming their next head coach, but it's not clear what Spurs' position will be on the matter. Mason is among Ange Postecoglou's assistants, and he has been on the coaching staff at Spurs since 2018. He has twice been an interim charging at Spurs following the sacking of Jose Mourinho and then Christian Stellini. Mason is believed to be at the forefront of a West Brom shortlist. More transfer news on Leroy Sané from Sky Sports. Leroy Sané has rejected a contract offer from Bayern Munich, they say, amid links to Tottenham. The 29-year-old's representatives are in contact renewal talks with the Bundesliga champions, and an offer worth up to £250,000 a week, including bonuses, has not been accepted. Premier League clubs would be reluctant to pay the wages at that level for a player who will be 30 in January. Tottenham had been offered the chance to sign the player this summer. If he moves to England, he would prefer to be in London for family reasons. Bayern want the player to stay, but they are not expected to increase their offer. Galatasaray are also interested, although a move to Turkey is unlikely at present. Sky Sports are also reporting that several players are set to exit Tottenham this summer. Goalkeepers Fraser Forster and Alfie Whiteman will depart alongside left-back Sergio Reguilon, who has made 6 appearances for the club in the last 3 years. Ben Davies is also out of contract in June, but Spurs hold the option to extend his deal for a further 12 months and a decision expected by next week. Tottenham will not trigger the option in Timo Werner's loan, with the ex-Chelsea forward to return to Leipzig after a poor second spell. A call is also required on the option to turn Matisse Tell's loan from Bayern Munich into a permanent deal. Tell scored 3 times in 20 appearances for Spurs, and while there is a deadline to trigger the option, no decision is expected before the early summer transfer window of June the 1st to the 10th. The Sun states that Heung-min Son is being chased by a number of clubs in Saudi Arabia. Sources close to Spurs say the club would consider selling their captain if a big offer comes their way this summer. Marca in Spain are saying that Johnny Cardoso has requested for Spurs to not take up their £21 million buy option on him. They go on to say that the defensive midfielder wants to join Atletico Madrid instead. However, as reported by Fabrizio Romano in November 24, if the purchase of the player by Spurs is not activated, Tottenham will still have matching rights and percentage on future sales. And finally, reports are stating that Spurs have held talks with Mikey Moore over a new long-term contract. Spurs have to hope to have the deal in place before he turns 18 in August. Well, here are my thoughts on all those stories. Firstly, Richarlison being named in the Brazil squad. Mixed season again for Richie, but pleased for him that he's got back in that Brazil squad. On that final performance alone, he probably deserves to be in that squad. Obviously was Brazil's number 9. I don't think there's a great deal of options for Brazil centre forward. I mean, they've obviously got some very, very talented players, but Richarlison's call-up goes to show that they still value him as a squad player. Hopefully he can get some game time. Vicario withdrawing from the Italy squad over physical concerns. Perhaps that just could be all the stresses of the last few weeks and leading up to the final. Physical concerns, difficult to know what that means really. Could mean anything, but probably just needs a break, both mentally and physically, to be fair. Jose Mourinho really makes me laugh, Jose. Absolutely love Jose Mourinho. Has to mention about Mr. Levy and the millions that the Champions League gives. Very tongue-in-cheek, but obviously knows exactly what he's saying, Jose. But obviously he says he's pleased for Ange, and it's a title for the fans and the club. West Brom approaching Ryan Mason. Difficult one with Mason. Obviously a club boy, isn't he? He's been at Spurs for many years, but probably about time for Ryan Mason to move on, to be honest, and see what he can do as a manager himself. As it says there, you know, he took over after the sacking of Mourinho and then Stellini. Mixed fortunes, you have to say, on both occasions, but if he is a highly rated coach, so I think, you know, we've got to let him go if he wants to go. I think it'd be a good opportunity at West Brom for him. So good luck to him if he goes. Leroy Sané again in the news. 29-year-old from Bayern Munich. Obviously, I think his wages could be an issue. Tottenham would have to break their wage structure completely. Would be a new highest earner at the club, you would think. And for a 29-year-old that obviously had huge success at Manchester City, but after his ACL injury, I don't think he's the same player he was. Does he warrant that money? And if Bayern Munich don't want to pay him £250,000 a week, off Spurs, I think he's a cracking player. I think he would definitely improve our squad, but obviously the club are going to have to decide what they want to do there. Would he be the marquee signing? Not sure. I still think we need more. As I said in previous editions of this, Eze for me. The outgoings: Fraser Forster, Whiteman, Sergio Reguilon, possibly Ben Davies. Yep, we know about that. Good luck to them when they move on. Obviously, you'd think Forster and Whiteman definites, along with Reguilon and Timo Werner. Ben Davies, personally, I'd like to see stay around at the club. I think he's a good influence, and I'd like to see Ben Davies stay. I do like Ben Davies. But let me know in the comments if you want to see Ben Davies move on. Let me know. This cuts a bit. The Sun stating that Heung-min Son possibly could go to Saudi Arabia. I've seen this from a number of sources. That would hurt if Sonny left. But hey, they could still demand a big fee for Son. It just depends, I think, on Sonny, this one. Does he want to stay at Tottenham? I'd like to think he probably would. I think he loves Tottenham, and now he's won that trophy. I don't think it'll be a case with Sonny that he would just want to move on because he considers job done. I think he genuinely loves his life at Spurs, loves his life in London. And he never seems to be the player about money. It's all about playing football and playing for Spurs. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, many players from the Premiership have been linked with Saudi. They don't all go. It'll be interesting. They might trigger that option to keep Heung-min Son for another year. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, but the rumour's out there, so I'm reporting on it. Marca in Spain reporting about Johnny Cardoso. Anybody who watched the game against Chelsea, Betis against Chelsea, obviously they lost. He didn't have a fantastic game, but as I say, I haven't really watched him that much at all. I've seen his highlight reels. He looks a decent player, but obviously it seems like he's going to want to go and stay in Spain at Atletico Madrid, playing for playing for them instead of Tottenham. But Spurs should get some a bit of money if he does go because of the deal that was put in place for him. And Mikey Moore possibly signing a new long-term contract before he's 18 in August. I really love Mikey Moore. Obviously didn't get a lot of game time towards the end of the season, but he's the sort of player we need to keep around and keep at Tottenham. Whether he goes for a loan next year, we'll wait and see. But this is good news for me, keeping Mikey Moore at the club. We need to keep players like that. That's all for me today. Hope you enjoyed it. Press subscribe, press like, and I'll see you again soon. Come on, you Spurs.